Market on close. I'm Sam Vardas, live from the floor of the New York Stock Exchange. It's time now for Overlooked Stocks. I'm joined by George Tsilis, senior markets correspondent, to look at Sanmina. It's seen a huge rally today, George, trading at a high of $189 during the session before pulling back ever so slightly, but still up 23%. What's going on there?
Well, Sam, to be honest with you, this is really a stock or a company that's moving in sympathy with AMD today. And one of the things about Sanmina is it's actually in the heart of what we're seeing in terms of a sort of a manufacturing and industrial renaissance. Also, the aspects of integrating artificial intelligence, not necessarily in the data center space, which Sanmina also participates in, but in the manufacturing space. So Sanmina is primarily an integrated technology company that focuses on manufacturing solutions and software. It's end-to-end. So everything from designing automated systems and manufacturing systems to implementing them, but also providing things like aftermarket service. And Sanmina actually has a collaboration partnership with AMD already. And AMD actually, this was something I discovered while researching the stock, has already got an equity stake in Sanmina. So what we're actually seeing today is a sympathy play of AMD moving higher because of the OpenAI deal with the equity stake that OpenAI is taking in AMD. And that's causing the net worth or equity of AMD to move higher, and that's spilling over into Sanmina because, as I mentioned, AMD is actually a collaborative partner with Sanmina, but also an equity investor in Sanmina stock itself. And if you think about what's happening, domestically, we're really focused policy-wise on domestic manufacturing, technology, and the areas that Sanmina supplies their technologies to end-to-end include industrial, medical, aerospace, and defense, which has actually been another very buoyant market area this year, automotive, as well as the cloud communication space. To complement the deal that the collaborative deal that AMD has, Sanmina actually purchased ZT Systems. This goes back to May, which opened the door for Sanmina to standardize data center development. In other words, manufacturing of data centers. So that's essentially what's happening here with Sanmina. Data centers are becoming, of course, major communication and network hubs, but there's also this aspect of who builds them, designs them, and of course maintains them. And that's what companies like Sanmina and even competitors like Jabil Circuits and Flextronics do as well.
Okay, so it's riding the coattails of this whole AI story thanks to this tie-up with AMD, OpenAI. Also, part of the whole M&A Monday sort of list here with the EU clearing this acquisition for ZT Group. So that perhaps explains the move. I'm just wondering, I was talking to Charles Moon earlier today about this AMD story, and he was sort of wondering, or at least concerned, whether we see a similar price reaction we saw to Oracle, with this initial spike. I see that, ahead of today's move in Sanmina, for instance, and we were still sitting up about, 74% or so over the course of the year, so very much outperforming the S&P 500. But how are you looking at sort of the overall sort of tech AI story right now, with everyone talking about, the potential for bubbles and drawing these sort of parallels to .com, etc.?
Yeah. Well, Sam, your audio broke up quite a bit there, but I'll do my best to try to answer your question if I've got it right. Some of the risks we have to address with Sanmina. I think one of the things we have to consider is the larger player, AMD, is actually a very complete semiconductor name. It's not just CPUs and GPUs. They're actually moving aggressively and have been as part of their business strategy into factory automation. And so, again, that's an area that is still not developed highly for AMD. I think for Sanmina, if you just look at some of the estimated growth rates for the business right now, they're only expecting single-digit growth in earnings and revenues. But you're right, the stock has actually increased substantially in the last year or year to date alongside some of these major players. So with that said, there are some risks to keep in mind. It is a small cap company in the about $6 billion market cap space, but their sales are actually about $8 billion per annum. They are profitable. They generate around $300 million in profit per year based on last 4 quarters. And the stock is still trading at right now at around 16 times next year's earnings, which right now is a little bit lofty considering 5-year averages. But with what we're seeing with AMD, Sanmina could certainly be on the radar of analysts who may end up reevaluating the name considering the growth rates that maybe AMD has now in the data center space with OpenAI, and then having the trickle down effect benefit Sanmina. So the trend is still positive. It is kind of stretched, but keep in mind, maybe the analysts are behind the curve on this one. So I suggest maybe paying attention to this one as analysts start to reevaluate their estimates for it.
Yeah, I mean, at a 52-week high today, up over 100% over the course of the last 12 months. So, yeah, quite a remarkable run. Thanks so much for that, George, getting us across Sanmina.